So I got a question from a subscriber around owner financing. I'm not sure if they picked it up in one of my videos or maybe one of the podcasts I was on. And it really basically boils down to, why do you like owner financing? The answers are pretty simple. I think when you have an owner that's looking to owner finance a deal, most of the time you can create a situation that is really truly win-win. So, I mean, when you are actually communicating with the seller and you're actually having honest discussions about what they want and what's important to you, you can put together a transaction that is very beneficial to you. I'll tell a quick story. So my network happened to bump into um, an owner of a 10-unit building. And in this case, they'd owned it for, I think it was like 42 years or something, right? They owned it forever, right? In real estate speak, that's forever, right? It'd been depreciated down to zero, and they were older, obviously, right? They owned it 42 years, so what are you going to be, 62, 60 at the youngest, right? If you bought it at 18, which almost nobody does, so they were older, right? It's not a secret, and they just were done with active management, right? They'd managed the building for 42 years themselves. And they were done with that. They wanted to go do cruises and see their grandchildren and all that stuff, which is awesome. Good for them. So they wanted to get out, but they didn't want to sell it, because what would happen is, if they sold it, they would get this huge tax hit because the building had been depreciated to zero, right? So whatever the sale price is, they're going to pay taxes on that, like that's all profit, and that would hurt. That'd be a big chunk of money that they didn't want to spend. So instead, what we did is we just had a conversation, right? We met at the building, we reviewed it. It needed some work. It was under rented, right? That typically people own property that long don't push rents because it's cash flowing already, and they don't want vacancies and make readies and all that stuff. So, we had some honest discussions. I let them know that I thought rents were 20% under market. I let them know that I expected to have some vacancies, as I did what I did, right? As a new owner, I had to come in. So, so what we did is we actually agreed on a market price, right? I think I paid what the market would have got within 5%. So I didn't get it cheap. However, what I did do is I was able to get it for a low down payment and a very low interest rate. Because again, as we talked, what was important to the seller is he wanted his price, right? He was fixated on a market price. And I told him that was fine, right? I mean, because what was important to me was monthly payment, right? I told him I'd be willing to pay $1 million if, I didn't have payments for 30 years, and, there was a balloon in 60 years, right? We just sort of clicked that way. We were just having honest discussions. So he wanted market, and I wanted monthly payment. And from there, we just worked out the math. Basically, let's just use rough numbers. Basically, the building was producing $5,000 in rent. I thought, I honestly think we could have got it to $6,500 or $7,000, right? Because it was under rented, but we negotiated as it was producing $5,000. He wanted originally $3,000 a month. I let him know how that's a non-starter. It's not gonna happen, because I need to be able to own this forever. So what we agreed to was $2,100 a month. And we agreed to actually less than 10% down, right? I think it was, when you did the math, it was about 8% down. So again, I was able to control the property for relatively small pieces of cash, right? If I were to go get a bank loan, I would have had to put 30 or 35% down, right? So significantly more cash. The interest rate we got was below 2%, because again, he wanted price and not, interest rate didn't matter. So he got his price. I got an interest rate below 2%, and I got a mortgage payment that was low enough for me to hold as is, and then allowed me to improve the building over a year or 18 months, because it takes a while. 10-unit building, you don't want to do it all at once to raise the rent. So in the end, when you're doing owner finance deals and you're having honest discussions, I have found that those are the best deals to do, because you can give the owner whatever they want. Sometimes it's price, sometimes it's monthly payment, and you as the buyer, you can get what's important to you, right? The ability to hold, and all those things. So I'm a huge fan of owner finance deals, and if you ever find one in Fresno and you can't close on it, give me a call or reach out, and I'm sure we can work something out. All right, have a great day.